We might be in the middle of a short week, and so far it's a week that is defying the historic odds that it will be an up week, an up strong week, but we can't fault it for drama. Plenty of drama this week. So, but the markets today were about as flat as they can be. The pre-market so far, they're kind of trending down. We had soft guidance from retailers, no surprises in the Fed minutes, oil jitters, a slow sale of 30-year bonds, and really low sales of existing homes. But while the markets were flat, Tesla was up nicely on no really specific news other than maybe catching up on the poor performance of the last couple of days when the market was doing better than Tesla. Anyway, this is Randy Kirk. You know what to do. Hit like, please hit the like button, hit subscribe, hit notify. Tomorrow, I'm thinking maybe I'm going to do another response to your comments. I'm getting a lot of great comments from you all. Some of them are very solid, thoughtful kinds of things that I think will be useful to the rest of this particular small community. And so I might do that tomorrow at around the noon hour, depending on if there's something bigger and more important that maybe I think should be done. I will have regular programming on tomorrow, both morning and evening, and probably one show on Thanksgiving morning. Yeah, probably. Okay. So what else? Let's see. Black Friday sale. Oh yeah, the Black Friday sale. Oh my gosh, you guys like this at $20. Holy mackerel. The sales went crazy this morning. I mean, really, probably the biggest day I've ever had, not in units, but in total number of people placing orders. So $20, doesn't matter how many you buy. This is going to be true through Monday night. So, buy one, buy two, buy five, I don't care how many, multiply times 20 and add $20 if you're outside the country. And please let me know stainless or camo, because, otherwise I got to send you an email and then you're going to, anyway. Slows some guys down. Some people don't respond to me for a week and they miss out. Takes them a week before they get the product. Okay. Every indication, every single indication that the investment community is done punishing Tesla for the perceived sins of the techno king. And now we can return to a steady move up to 300 plus. So what I've said before is that there's no technical barriers in the way of us getting to 300, except maybe right around 275. We were slowed down by all this nonsense the other day that is now, I think, CNBC and CNN and the rest, they're going to continue to hammer and hammer and hammer. It doesn't matter what the ADL says. It doesn't matter what Jewish leadership says. It doesn't matter what anybody says. They've got their mind made up that they're going to crucify Elon. In particular, they're going to try to mess up X, right? Because it's a competitor to CNN. Anyway, I don't know, it's going to be bad for a little while longer, but not affecting the stock anymore. And so I think we're going to go back, hit that 275, pause for a couple of days, go on through to 310 by the end of by the end of the month, 300, 305, somewhere like that, maybe as early as a few days after the Cybertruck handover, and then we'll start moving toward all-time high January 30th. As I mentioned earlier, markets were down today with some soft, it wasn't horrible news, but there was some negative news. So let's look at some of the stuff we saw here. JP Morgan predicts that 10-year bonds are going to drop to 3.75 yield by the end of 2024. I think they might be looking at 3.75 a lot sooner than the end of 2024, but that's one of the very first major companies, analysts, et cetera, to suggest such a low number. Now, people are saying that they are thinking maybe it'd be 75 to 100 basis points lower on treasuries. So that might mean that we would drop, 75 to 100 basis points on the 30-year bond in that same period. But I'm thinking, 375 is certainly going to happen probably by mid-year or even earlier. So, but there had a very lousy auction today. So the 10-year bonds did not do well. Yesterday's 20-year did fine, but then in the 10 years today, they had a hard time selling them. But even after that, and even after the Fed minutes came out, and the Fed minutes were, they were meh, isn't that how you say it? Okay. the 10-year finished the day about unchanged at 4.404, and then in the pre-market has now broken through 4.4, sitting at 4.39. I'll update that at the end of the episode. We'll see where it is, but breaking through 4.4, I think it seemed like there was a round number issue there at 4.4. So I think we're easily, going to continue on our way to 4.25. For those of you who sometimes say in the comments that, Randy, you never get it right. Oh, let's see. Gotten it right about about inflation being done, gotten it right about no recession, got it right about the 5.5% yield on the 10-year being the maximum. It was going to bounce off that, bounce hard. And then now I'm saying 4.25 as the next stopping point. We'll see. Maybe it'll, if it kind of hesitates at 4.25. Sometimes I do get it right. All right, this is huge to me that we're break through that 4.4. We'll see what happens over the next few days. Nvidia beat handily with their revenues tripling, but their guidance was just a little bit soft for the fourth quarter because they have these export restrictions from the U.S. government with regard to whether they can sell certain of their products in China and some other countries. I mean, probably, I guess, North Korea, Venezuela. Anyway, you know the countries. Anyway, but their new product comes out in March, which is supposed to be something that would be approved for selling in those countries. And then in the meantime, they're trying to get licenses of their existing products, but they said, none of that's going to happen in the fourth quarter. So that will affect new orders coming in, but they said it's not going to affect their shipments because what? They're backlogged like crazy. So their fourth quarter shipments are going to be fine. It's just going to be their backlog might go down. I don't know. The stock market didn't like it. It's down in the after hours. Not a ton, but just a little bit. Normally, if you would triple and beat on all levels, you'd expect that. No, it was at all-time highs. Okay, so maybe it's just a little selling on a little relief sale or something. Okay, let's see. Some are saying that there is more than normal amounts of options activity going on with Tesla right now. Now, Tesla typically is the number one option, has more options being sold around it than any other stock, and that's probably mostly because of the volatility. I have played the options market, as you know. I have some options now, some leaps, and having volatility makes the opportunity that much greater. So then the question became, does somebody have special knowledge? Is there something going on where somebody's gotten some insider information? That's why there's all this options trading going on. Well, over the course of the last 3 days, I gave you 27 reasons why the stock might be going to go crazy soon. Not all of them were crazy, but 27 things that could be happening or will be happening between now and January 30th that I believe takes it to an all-time high after the earnings report in January. That would be enough for me if I was playing right now. I'm not playing leaps. I am invested more or less in leaps. I am way out there. So I'm not planning to buy and sell currently. But there's so many things. I mean, a China decision, a new China decision. China seems all of a sudden like they need business. Apparently they asked President Biden the other day for $90 billion to help them out of their troubles. I don't know. I'm seeing headlines now that I don't quite understand. We've got a possible gig in China. We got Optimus. We got FST. We have a possible licensing deal. We've got India that's all of a sudden all over the news. And some people thought today's increase was because of India getting firmer and firmer. But no, I mean, we got enough to go on just with FOMO for the Cybertruck. Anyway, it could be a little bit of all of those. It could be all those together. Anyway, the current run-up, no barriers, in my humble opinion, until we get to all-time highs, really. Just a matter of, again, the macro has to be right. There has to be a lot of energy in the market and a lot of risk on in the market in order to continue this flight up the stairs. Existing home sales tumbled to their lowest level in more than 13 years as rising mortgage rates and low inventories kept potential home buyers on the sidelines. No surprise to me. No surprise to you if you watch this channel. We'll have slow sales because it's winter. They're always slow in the winter, and this will continue until April, and then we'll have high sales again or higher sales again. And there is no inventory. And yes, the interest rates are low, so people are staying put. And all those things are true. So anyway, not really a story as much as it is just a confirmation of what everybody should know. Okay, listen, speaking of demographics, and a lot of that is about demographics, I want to talk about retail and Christmas right now. So again, those of you who follow the channel a lot, you know I was in the bicycle business, still am, still in the bicycle business, been in the bicycle business since I was 20-ish. When I had started reselling bicycles, buying used bicycles and reselling them out of my garage while I was going to UCLA Law. So for the first bunch of years that I was in the bicycle business, in fact, until 1990, even maybe after 1990 a little bit, Christmas was the biggest time of year for the bicycle industry. I mean, even in Maine or in Buffalo, it was huge. But then all of a sudden the demographics shifted and there wasn't as many kids. And the kids that were there, their moms weren't letting them right outside the neighborhood. So Christmas went away. Christmas is no longer a big deal, even in California, in the bicycle business. So what do we got going on now? What we've got is that for the last 5 years, I haven't bought one of my children or my grandchildren a Christmas or a birthday gift. I give them money for all of those events. I don't buy gifts. Hey, comes down. That's tradition. My mom stopped buying my kids and grandkids gifts and started sending checks, when she was at my age. I'm sure you're probably doing the same thing. I'm just guessing. But if you're doing the same thing, then you'll understand what I'm about to say. We also have adults, that are well-to-do or even middle class, husband and wife living together, living it. They're not buying a bunch of gifts back and forth. Okay, that's not happening. All right, they already got what they need. Maybe you get one gift, or maybe you buy a couple, but maybe you go on a trip instead. Or it's a whole different game because of this demographic shift that we have now in more and more and more people in the senior citizens category. So what does that mean? That means not as many gifts are going to be bought at Christmas. This is not something that is about the end of COVID or the beginning of this is 100% a demographic shift, and the retail industry is going to have to get used to it. This is going to go on for a very, very long time. The Kobayashi letter has breaking news at OpenAI. The drama continues. Emmett Shear, who's the new president of OpenAI, he threatened to resign unless the board explains why Sam Altman was fired. So he wants to know, hey, I'm not going to come into this new position and all of a sudden I'm here for 3 weeks and I get the axe. So he's only been, of course, made president 48 hours ago. He was made president, I think, like within hours. He says the board needs to clearly communicate why Altman was fired. In the meantime, Elon just posted on X a letter that he received. I don't know if he received it directly or received it from others who sent him a copy of it, but a bunch of either current and or ex-employees of OpenAI sent out this letter really ripping Sam Altman in terms of some of his management style and some of his, what they believe to be some of his inclinations that they didn't like in terms of what his motivations might have been with regard to the profit versus nonprofit and all of that. So, and the drama. And now we've got Microsoft, grabbing him immediately and paying him all kinds of money, I'm sure, to run their AI division. And maybe they didn't know about these things on the letter before they made that decision. I don't know. We'll see where all of this goes. But what we should do right now is we should take a look at where the first of all, anything else for me to tell you about show notes? No other show notes right now. Let's go ahead and take a look. Let's start with the bonds just for fun. Right exactly at 4.40 on the 10-year. That is down almost 2 basis points, but it's sitting right on the exact note, but it was down below that a little bit earlier. We'll see what happens in the morning. Let's look at the 2-month is up 2 basis points at 5.4, and the 2-year is down almost 1 basis points at 4.8. Okay, then let's go ahead and take a look at the rest of how things are going. We have got the pre-market. We have got the Dow flat at down $7, down less than 2%. We've got the S&P futures down $3.25, down 0.07%, but the NASDAQ is down 25.50. That's down 0.17%. We have got the Bitcoin has been dropping all day. It is now at 36, about exactly. We have got the dollar picking up just a little bit again. People saw the Fed minutes today as not it was pretty flat, pretty no difference really, but some people called it hawkish because there was no mention at all of any conversation about cuts in the future. I didn't see it that way, but maybe some of the dollar halting its slide and being slightly at least flat to up might have been about that. And it might just be that this is a slow week. Gold is exactly at 2,000. Interesting. It's been up above 2,000 earlier today, but now it's at exactly 2,000. We've got oil down 10 cents at 77.67, pretty much where it's been all day. I did check copper again. It is down as well. We have got, again, the bonds. We already talked about that. Let's go back with one more look at Tesla. Tesla is sitting at, maybe I'd never said anything about Tesla. So Tesla is actually down $1.26 in the after hours at 239.94. It has been flirting around with that all during the after hours. It was up, of course, $5.60 during regular trading. All right, so if you haven't already hit like, you want to hit like and subscribe and notify, you know how to do all those things. And then, of course, I want to remind you one more time, you can get one of these for free if you just join Patreon for the $10 level. What I want to let you know right now is that it is Black Friday on Tuesday, and will it be Black Friday until next Monday? $20 a piece. I don't care how many you buy. Add $20 outside the country. Got one today from Australia. Kindly added that $20. So wherever you are in the world, add $20. If you buy 10 of them, you still only add that same $20. And then please let me know, camo or stainless steel. Get your orders in right now. Send that to paypal.me/Randy Kirk, all in lowercase letters. And as always, it has been great talking to you today.